Hello everyone, and welcome once again to the Heir's Lair. I'm your host, Jonathan Taylor. Today's video, or rather this week's video, is not too dissimilar from other videos from from my How to Write video series, in the sense that it has been prompted by something I have discovered in not really discovered, but noticed in a recent read. And it is something that I would like to see emulated in quality, if not necessarily, not necessarily style. Unlike other videos from this, from this series, however, it is not as much of a niche topic. It is in fact a quite broad one and a very discussed one. Given that, given that a lot of other, writers and YouTubers have, have already talked about, it to some degree. But I still want to add my own, touches to the conversation, because it is a topic that I very much enjoyed, not necessarily talking about, but indulging in, and I've been told I'm quite good at it as well. And that topic, as the title of this video will have already given away, is dialogue. Yeah, I've been told I write pretty good dialogue, not just by my mom too, by by various by various alpha and beta readers as well. Beyond that, I will say that my focus for this video will be a little bit different from from that of most other people, who talk a little bit more about the flow, rhythm, and musicality of the written word, which I will say is is an interesting point to consider. And it is something I would, to some extent at least, recommend considering, in the sense that you should read your dialogue aloud in order to get a better, in order to get a good understanding of the of whether it feels like something any particular character would say. However, for the purposes of this video, my focus is going to be a little bit different. I'll be talking about the tactical semantics of dialogue, aka how you can use the the line by line, moment by moment, sentence by sentence delivery in order to convey various various concepts, elements, and metaphors to the audience, in order to enhance the narrative, the characterization, or the world building. In other words, how to use this particular aspect of storytelling in order to improve your storytelling process and have it be interesting in its own right. It is a little bit of a tricky subject, but it is one that I have to some extent already made already done the legwork for in two previous How to Write videos. Namely, the one about fight scenes or action scenes, and the one about how to write smart or intelligent characters, depending on how you wish to call it. More specifically, in my action scenes video, I specifically mentioned debates, competitive debates primarily, as an edge case when it comes to action scenes, because because what debates and action scenes have in common is the fact that you have two or more parties, but primarily two, utilizing a specific set of techniques backed by their own expertise in order to overcome the challenge, the threat, or the obstacle that a different party or a different set of different parties represents or represent. With the intelligent characters video, I mentioned that every character has their own distinctive dimension or domain of intelligence, or more broadly, expertise that they can that they can draw upon, and through that. And it is through that area of expertise or knowledge that they both evaluate themselves and others. and it is also through that expertise that they devise their own uh, movements. They set their own intentions, as well as assess or try to guess the ones of the ones of others. Both intentions and philosophies. So, how does that reflect? With dialogue? Well, it actually goes the other way around, because dialogue is actually a reflection of those facets. It is a reflection of the reflection or a distillation, a facet, so to speak, about how it is that various characters use their use what it is that they know in order to further their own intentions, either make something of themselves, or make something new of themselves, or maintain something of themselves that they find particularly meaningful. This may sound a little bit selfish, even though this capacity is rarely used competitively. Um, However, there is a selfless dimension to it as well. Namely, when a character either gives advice or greets another character. But contextually, even that can reveal plenty of information about that character themselves, about their background, and about what it is that they find to be of particular note or of particular importance from within their dialogue, or from within their background, or from within their broader area of expertise or area of knowledge. And really, when writing dialogue, you are basically setting characters. As these lumps of background characteristics and intentions to interact with each other in some capacity. That interaction could be, and that interaction could end up synergizing or clashing, depending on the nature of these intentions. And depending on the nature of these intentions, their own respective compatibility, or with regards to whether the ways in which these characters approach these topics are actually, to some extent, actually compatible or not. That sounds like it is a somewhat sizable thing to consider. But all of that becomes exponentially more difficult to rein in when considering group discussions, because you have a lot more potential interactions that can result from that. The trick to group discussions, however, the trick that allows you to control and eventually master even these kinds of moments, is initiative. Or rather, it is keeping initiative in mind and how to most effectively control or display it. So when writing group discussions, you really need to consider who holds the initiative at any given moment. What is it about that particular character that gives them that initiative? They use that initiative to launch an intervention in the group. What kinds of reactions does that intervention cause? Does any character within that group does the broader initiative change after that intervention, with all of the reactions that it causes? So you're basically, in short, you are basically following the initiative. But because that initiative can basically change with every single line, you really have to ask yourself this set of questions that I've highlighted with basically every single line, in order to more effectively figure out who is actually who it actually belongs to, or who or who's basically whose turn it is, and how and what it is about various characters that makes them seize their respective turn and declare that this is, and makes them decide that this is when they should speak. This is when they should interfere in order to make sure that their intentions or their sensibilities are most effectively preserved or mirrored within their situation. Again, I will admit it is a tough order. However, as I typically say with these videos, as the author, you really hold all the cards. And if you've done your legwork beforehand, then it should be easy for you to figure out. Then it should be easy for you to figure out these the answers to these questions based upon who you know these characters to be, what they stand for, what they stand against, what their background is, and how it is that their background shaped them. If you keep that in mind, and with every character as they go through their set of interactions, then you will be able to figure out and then you'll be able to figure out how to most effectively and most eloquently present their lines in a manner that is both fitting and interesting to observe, interesting to read through. And yeah, that was my advice. Thank you for your attention. If you enjoyed it, well then please like the video, maybe even share it wherever you think other people will also like the video. And not just if you enjoyed it, but also if you found it useful. That would, that would also be ideal. If you have anything you'd like to add, either to the topic itself or to how I approach it, well, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then, please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. My books, the first of my own Heir to the Empire series, The Next Generation: A Path Not Taken, are available at various book retailers under their respective master links in the description down below. Right past my social media links, which I suggest you check out should you choose to. And given I'm trying to get my my third book published, I might just have some updates on on where I stand with that by the time this video comes out. So now might be as good a time as any to actually check those videos out, check those social media out as well, because I might just have updates by the time this video comes out. I also have a second channel where you can hear me talking about whatever else crosses my mind, though it'll typically still be related to to narrative analyses, but of works outside the print medium. So if you want to hear me talk about the stories of video games, TV series, or various movies, then I very much recommend that you go over there. If, however, you want to hear more about my thoughts on the print medium and various works therein, well, then I suggest you stay on this channel, where aside from an embarrassment of riches when it comes to book reviews, I also do writing advice videos, like this one. I also do book rewriting videos, like various others, and I also do videos on miscellaneous writing topics, including author interviews. So if if any of that sounds like it could be of interest to you, then I suggest you go ahead and check my channel out. If none of that is of interest to you, well then I suggest you go ahead and do whatever you want the rest of your day, because it is your day after all. And yeah, that was it for me. So until next time, I am Jonathan Taylor, and this has been the Heir's Lair.